So I've continued my quest to watch all this Tarkovsky by watching Andrei Rublev. This is a very long movie. This movie is 3 hours long. It's in two parts, but it's also in 7 episodes, so it's a lot. It's mostly spent. What am I looking for? Set. There we go. Set in, I guess it's 15th century or 14th century Russia. And it opens with, I think what's supposed to be modern-ish, because there's a hot air balloon and it's clearly not Middle Ages. And then it goes back and tells you the story of Andrei Rublev through 7 different moments in his life. I don't know any history about Andrei Rublev. I don't know much history about Russia before, like, the czars. So this was all things that I didn't know anything about. There's a really interesting production history that has to do with censorship and the inability to have this film play in its own country. That is interesting because it reflects the difficulty of making art in a what's sort of making for repressive country. So it's sort of looking at the past of Russia in order to show where it's at here. Also, apparently, the Soviet Union was mostly atheist. I did not know this, and so this film is very religious. Andrei Rublev was a maker of religious icons. So naturally, this movie is very spiritual, and it was, I guess, very controversial in mid-60s Soviet Union. So it's beautifully shot. Again, it's shot by Vadim Yusov, and there's a lot of great acting in this movie. A lot of things that have shown up in the previous Tarkovsky that I've seen, including horses and water and trees and forests and long takes of faces and lots of Tarkovskyisms. There's something I was going to say that tied it with something else. I can't remember what it was now. Oh my god. I had a point. Was it the Soviet Union? What was I saying? Tarkovsky, Soviet Union, horses, my nose itches. What was it? Oh my god. I had something I really wanted to say about this movie. Oh, yes, pagans. There's a moment where the monks sort of come across this like pagan ritual in the forest. This is my favorite part of the movie, obviously. One, the sound design during that section was so ethereal and wonderful and totally evoked the feeling of this pagan ritual. 2, everyone was naked. 3, they were having a really good time. And 4, that whole sequence just, I was like, I can relate to this. I understand what's happening here. This is great. I also want to say the sound design throughout the entire film. Tarkovsky is one of those directors who uses sound to create a world in a way that I think is lost in a lot of films these days. Like, some of the only films that really use sound design in that way are like superhero movies, where because you need the explosions in the shots and things. But regular films can create worlds with sound design in a way that doesn't happen as much nowadays as it used to. And so this film really uses all the techniques that you should be using in a film. Sound design to create a world, lighting design to create a world, costume design to create a world, background extras to create a world. You can learn a lot from watching a film like this. That said, I am not a very religious person, and these very spiritual movies, like I watched several at Pordenone because those Scandinavians in the 20s just love to make spiritual films. I find that aspect difficult because I'm like, I don't relate to this. But there was a moment where a guy got really frustrated and he started swearing at everybody by using like Bible verses, and then he spit at them and threw stuff, and I was like, I can relate to that. So there was, I think I can appreciate the filmmaking and the artistry and the struggle to get this film made. I can't say that I loved it. It's one of those. But I'm glad that I've seen it, and I will probably not visit it again. So this was Tarkovsky's Andrei Rublev. It is 3 hours long. It's from 1966. You can watch it on Filmstruck. It's also on DVD from the Criterion Collection. It's widely available. Definitely watch it if you want to see a finely crafted piece of cinema. And especially if you're a student and you're learning about filmic technique, this is a film that uses everything you need to know, and you can learn a lot from studying it. So this is Andrei Tarkovsky's Andrei Rublev, 1966.